All right. Good evening, family. Good evening, family. I am back in the studio with our what episode is this one now, Tay? Where we at now? We at number 17. 17. Lucky 17 episode. Facts what we're feeling. So thank you all for all the birthday wishes on last week. I think I got over 1,000 or 1,500 something comments and likes and all that stuff. Y'all made me feel very, very special. But thank you very much. As I said, oh Lordy, I'm 40. So now I can that's my saying for the rest of the year. Oh Lordy, I'm 40.
40 club.
40 club. In the 40 club. Yeah. Don't feel it. They're over 39, as they say.
Once you get to that 50.
Which one gets to 50?
That 50 club gonna come real quick. You know what I'm saying? I wonder,
That's
should
too funny.
we all say happy birthday to him? Do we
Go ahead.
Do we get it in,
I'm not singing.
Y'all not singing? Oh man, come
Oh,
on.
buddy.
One of the well-known DJs here. You can't sing.
DJ, not singer.
Yeah,
You see,
You
DJ,
got
Wait.
see the difference in them titles?
yeah. But you got
I'll play
sometimes.
it.
you
I'll play
you
it.
see, it's a difference.
Get on the microphone sometimes and get to singing.
You say it's
You
a
hype the club
difference.
up. Come on, man. You got to do that, man. You got to hype the club up. You got to
It's
get
a
the
difference.
DJs who can't mix talk. I don't talk a lot.
singing.
Too funny. So we got the two Travises in.
TNT.
Mr.
TNT.
Travis, right? TNT. Yeah. Mr. Chambers. Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing? You been all right?
Another day living. I ain't
Another
hanging
day
with y'all,
living.
you know,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
between all these other things that's going on.
Oh man, yes.
complaint.
A lot going on, isn't it?
All right.
And it's steady going, don't it?
Yeah,
The world and in life.
man. Hey, yes.
All
Yeah.
good things though.
And-
It's a blessing to be here, so I can't.
yes, it definitely is. And our other Mr. Travis, what's good, man?
Man, what's good, man? Great to be back. You know what I'm saying? On the microphone, talking to you guys, giving some great knowledge, open dialogue. It's all about open dialogue. I'm glad everybody reached out to FEMA. Y'all better hurry up.
I definitely did.
You know what I'm saying? They own $16 million. It's gone already.
Yesterday? Today?
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I heard some good positive things. I heard as soon as they come, they cut you a check $800.
I don't know if it's that fast.
I don't know, but then next thing you know, it's 24 hours in the account. You know what I'm saying? So hey,
Okay.
good things. So y'all can say at least Trump came through on that. Here we go.
No, I'm not
He
supposed to
could have
say that.
denied it, and then y'all would have been, you know what I'm saying?
A month later, yeah, after everything is done cleaned up, but we ain't gonna go
What
into
you
that.
mean, man? Come on now.
So
I got you.
as y'all hear, Mr. Travis here
Yeah.
with the full red suit on. They both got on red today.
Right.
But chocolate Travis here
Yeah, I had to do that. Yeah.
is our resident conservative black Republican, as he likes to say.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just keep saying it. I don't really think he is a full Republican, and he just comes on here to talk his stuff. But we're gonna let that go. The
I
other
agree
half,
with 99.9%, just like the DNA test.
Lord. and our other Mr. Travis C is here with us with the half red on. He identifies as an independent. Would we say that? Moderate independent. Okay, moderate independent. So that means he can kind of be swayed either or. He's kind of on that fence. But
Right.
most independents caucus with the Democrats. So I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
That's
Most of the
changing.
time. It's changing.
Yeah, that's
I don't know about
That's
that.
how think about it. Look at the percentage of the
Yeah, I don't-
independents
I don't-
of what
I don't
he
know.
won. Yeah. The changing more independents voting Republicans. If you look at the last election, I can't remember.
I'll
the
let me in
numbers,
3.5 years and see what the
But, yeah.
numbers say, and then I'll see where we end up.
Yeah, because I
There's
think
a lot of
you would like
Like
it.
it.
Yeah, right. We got
But
dark.
he won. Well, he won on them voting Republicans.
He did. And
So-
they
I'm gonna
complaining
give you
about what
that,
they
but
all they
like,
voted for, what
you
they
know,
got. They one in the same.
Like,
So we'll see where we at 3.5 years. on that
yeah,
number.
we'll see how
But for right now,
everything.
yeah, go ahead.
everything-
You can say that for right now.
Everything
funny.
good right now. We'll see.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Everybody living good.
Because we got some facts. We do see, we got some facts that we was waiting. We was waiting for you the last couple of weeks to come, and you didn't come, Mr. Travis Darkness over here.
yeah.
So we're gonna we finna
Sesame chocolate. Go
right,
ahead.
right. We finna bust your head open with some things because I want you to answer to a couple things. So I have to tell
Okay.
folks too. Now, and again, how we start is not necessarily how we're gonna end.
For sure.
When we get in the middle of something, we might go to something else. So y'all just try to keep up with us. But we're gonna be kind of a little bit of everywhere today, just a little bit.
Just a
But
little bit.
the main topic is we're gonna talk about is the Office of Community. Is it Community Wellness? Is that
Violence
the new name?
prevention.
That used to be the name. That used to be their name.
Man.
Now they call it community wellness or community safety and wellness, something of that nature. Because I do want to get an understanding of actually what they do.
Me too. I
'cause
definitely want everybody. I think everybody want to know.
Honestly, I really don't know.
Me neither.
I don't know.
I was gonna talk about who they just put in place.
I don't know. Yes, we're gonna bring that up because that whole process was like really flawed.
process.
What you mean?
What you mean? What do you mean? Okay, we're gonna come around to it. No.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna get to it.
No.
Right, because
But-
I'm just, you know, what I'm
But
saying?
I do want
I
to.
don't have a problem with who they put in there now.
Yeah. Okay. See me. It's called the Office of Community Wellness and Safety,
There you go.
Right.
formerly known as the Office of Violence Prevention. So, according to the City of Milwaukee's website, it says that their aim is to stop violence before it starts. Community-wide prevention is the most effective long-term solution to violence, and the Office of Community Wellness and Safety engages a wide range of partners to facilitate a
Mhm.
multidisciplinary population level approach. That was some words to influence the social, behavior, and environmental factors that contribute to violence. The Office of Community Wellness and Safety brings together agencies, experts, and community resources and efforts that reduce the following: domestic and intimate partner violence, sexual assault, child abuse, human trafficking, children witness to violence, community violence, gun violence, and interpersonal violence, intentional injury, and homicide. Currently, that office is being led by Mr. Adam Procell. I do have a couple of issues with that whole process of them naming Mr. Procell, and I don't have issues with Procell itself because I do know Adam. My time that I have worked in the reentry field and in the field of criminal justice, I have had the opportunity to work with Adam on some very personal projects to the individuals I was supervising at the time, and that program is called Community Partners, Community of Hope. Off of 4th and North Avenue. They do really good work. And he was the interim director over there for many years over that program. And I can say a lot of results came out of there. A lot of the guys, at the time I was dealing with federal inmates, a lot of those guys came out of prison and were able to get jobs, sustainable jobs at that, and are still working those jobs today.
That's what's up.
I have to give that company and that program their credit for that.
So will you give him credit for that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 'cause he was the interim director over
Right.
so I have to, and it was he was able to talk about his lived experience of being a convicted felon and being incarcerated, I think, for over 15 years here in the state of Wisconsin. So he was able to meet them where they were at and understand a lot of their plights and things of that nature. I just did not like the way that he was named the director of that office. I think that was a bunch of BS. And I have issues with the mayor for
You gotta trust them, bro.
that whole. Yeah,
You gotta
okay,
trust them.
yeah. Like I trust a car salesman that come to my door. Yeah,
So you got to trust.
So-
So when you say you got to trust, you got to trust
the mayor.
the
I
mayor.
need
That's
y'all
what he
to
kept
trust me, even though we didn't go in the process that we were supposed to. I need y'all to
So what
trust
happened? They had finalists.
Okay.
They had 3 finalists, which
Right.
Adam Purcell was not one of them.
Okay.
All of a
I don't
sudden,
even think he went through the initial process. Like, I don't think like he was even in the initial pool of
no, he wasn't at all.
Yeah, like so it wasn't
It
that
wasn't.
he wasn't
So they
a
did
finalist. Like
right.
he wasn't even
At all.
He didn't even
No
interview.
one even
Okay,
knew
okay.
about him even having any kind of links to the job at all. So they didn't have these town halls. They didn't have people come up to speak to the candidates. People that went in, had these questions asked of the candidates. They do all these town halls, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now we down to just 3 people. Okay, so they present them to the community and whatnot. And then out of nowhere, a random news conference comes on and saying they
Hey, we
picking,
met this guy.
you making him. And like, who is that? And the community's like, what? What the hell?
So my question
yeah.
would be like the 3 finalists that they had, right?
Mhm.
What was their credentials as in?
I can't tell you.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
really don't know. I know one of them worked in that office
Okay.
and still is there now.
Right. So that was
It was a
that
female.
that was definitely that person didn't need to be there because
Yeah.
they worked in the office and
Eh,
they
I,
did
I
better.
wouldn't say that
What you-
because that person brought a lot of, from what I was told about the female that was there. She brought
Okay.
a very good level of experience and a lot of
What was
different
the level of
ideas.
experience?
Well, I don't,
because
again,
I
I don't
feel
know.
like
I
him
don't,
being
I
a
can't-
convicted felon,
I
him being
can't
a
see-
convicted felon is, you know, because I'm always about, you know, what I'm saying, 'cause when a doctor go to school, you know, they gotta have they go in there and actually do surgery on a person, right?
True.
You know what I'm saying? And they learn how to do the surgery.
True.
So they get in the field training. And I think with him having the background of his experience and being incarcerated, his experience of his experience of being incarcerated, his experience of helping individuals find sustainable jobs, like you just said, that he did a great job.
Okay,
and-
that's
and
not where I
that
thought
what
you
he
were going
doing.
with that. Okay.
So I feel,
Oh, you thought he was going? I got you.
right?
I was like,
yeah,
there's,
see
I
what
was
I'm
like,
saying?
there's no way you finna
Right,
compare.
exactly. So yeah, see, y'all really
I did
y'all-
too.
y'all-
So,
y'all-
I think he was close to
No,
going there.
I'll let
He
you, you
pivoted.
say
No,
it,
no,
I,
but no,
where I
but
thought
what
you
I'm
was
saying-
gonna go, I was like,
no, because having someone, because you gotta look at me. I'm in the same experience as he is, as being a convicted felon, and then
Okay.
now working for major corporations, and then helping
Okay.
a union person, helping them keep their job and hire.
Okay, so
convicted felon.
but let me ask you this.
So
me
having
ask you
somebody
this.
that's been there and done that and been through those situations,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, or has a little bit more experience. I look at this somebody just being there and just being book smart, you know what I'm saying, about the situation. You know, and that's how I look at it. I think he might be the person that can reach these youth, because then we just have a 13-year-old try to grab an 11-year-old and then killed. And then we got a 50-year-old girl that got shot on 76.
Same
Like,
block in a week.
exactly. So the things, you know what I'm saying, these individuals that's out here committing the crime, minus the 13-year-old that's sitting there, a lot of these people has already probably got records already and been involved in stuff. So having somebody in his field that, you know, having somebody in his experience that been that person that those people's doing stuff to a person now that's helping individuals and been successful at it, he might be a good candidate.
And I'm not saying that. I do understand where
Compared to
you're
somebody
coming
that's been in
from.
office and the office has not been doing well or doing their job well. So.
An Indian that becomes a chief will never lead the same way. So you can't say just because that they were in the office, they were the problem.
Because they weren't
They could
the
have been saying,
director.
what we doing ain't working, but they like, hey, mind your place.
Correct.
So you can't say just because
I get that.
That's where I was
You're
going
gonna
with
get
that.
fined if you say so.
Right. So like just because
get
you're
it.
in the mess
insubordination.
doesn't mean that you're
I get it.
necessarily contributing to the mess. You could be the one that they don't like because you don't
No,
want to.
because you know
And
what
I'm
they
raising
do.
saying
Right,
I'm the one
right.
raising saying.
You wanna fix
Just
the
because
problem,
you was
they don't
in the
wanna
office,
fix it.
I don't think that immediately
I
would
get it.
disqualify
I agree
her
with
from
that.
being a valid candidate.
I agree with that.
But I don't think that that's the bigger issue. We'll come back around.
Right. And see, the bigger issue is that from what I again was informed of and what I do know of Adam, the experience, yes, with being a convicted felon, yeah, I get that part. But then you're being placed in a governmental job. What kind of outcomes or experiences do you have of running a full office like that? You know, with
What you
staffing
mean running a
patterns.
full office like that?
Yeah, you got
Really?
Yeah,
I think everybody that can run, if you running your households and paying your bills
That's
and have
different.
everything on, it's how come it's a list?
That's
It's similar to the same thing. Your budget, your money, the accountability, all that. It's similar to the same thing. You don't need to go to school to learn how to run an office.
I ain't saying you need to go to school to be doing it, but what experience do you have with doing that? That's a high profile job.
I think that's part of the
I don't look at it like
misconception,
that.
right? And we do this, and I think it's more of a professional construct that we come to. I don't think that you always have to have
Thank you, Lewis.
experience to do a job. Sometimes not having the experience is the best thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not against the fact that he does or doesn't have experience in that space, right? Because if I come in and everybody else says wear red and I want to wear purple, I'm going to change the whole process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like my issue with the whole situation is twofold. The first is we talk about the lack of communal connection. We talk about the lack of trust. We talk about the lack of blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And then the mayor comes along and says, okay, we're going to give y'all say in the next person we put into this place to do this thing. The community like bet. Now, I don't know how many people showed up to the meetings or didn't, but apparently enough people showed up that it's public record that they went to a public, speaking engagement or two.
Yeah.
To give people the ability to speak and say, these are the people that we want, and then to completely circumvent that completely destroys any little bit of trust or communal. That completely destroys and implodes anything you were trying to do.
I agree.
And now I don't trust you to do what's in our best favor ever again, because whether that man is qualified or not, it seems like there's something more sinister now going on.
Would
Correct.
that be? Would you consider that something similar as a dictatorship?
No.
I mean,
No.
What you mean?
No.
Close. What you mean?
No.
How come? If you say
I wouldn't validate, for me, I wouldn't validate that as dictatorship, because dictatorship to me is what I say goes. Even though he put that man into place, there were still parameters that he had to follow and things like he didn't have full carte blanche on. My mama gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like that man still had to go through a process to get it. Whereas the dictatorship is like, it's my way or no way. Like he don't got that much swing.
I mean,
Well, question:
y'all say that's
what did he have to go through? If what he said initially, hey, the community would be able to be involved in this, or whoever was supposed to vote as well. If he went around that, what was he supposed to?
So whatever,
And that was the problem.
right? And so whatever and I don't know what it is, but whatever the process is to be hired by the government, by the city, he still has to go through all of those checks and balances, right? So like, regardless of who he put into place, that man still had to meet a certain threshold to be able to get the job. Whether it was background check or whatever it was.
But it almost feels like you would if you just hired somebody that was your cousin at the job and you knew they needed to do. Hey, none of that other stuff matters. Just complete this, and this.
Right, but there's
That's an appointed position. So
right.
the mayor has purview to basically appoint whoever he wants to.
Right, but there's still, and I don't know, but there's still either a board, there still has to be some kind of a process. Like he didn't just put them on payroll on Monday. There still had to have been some form of a process, I would assume.
Something.
Well, even
like,
coming from a nonprofit
but
organization,
even the
so-
experience piece, which did you read that?
Yeah, I'm on. Louis Miranda. He says, "How can a guy who spent 25 years locked up and only 7 years in the free world be ready for a job such as the director of Office of Safety and Wellness? He can't. He doesn't have enough experience. He doesn't have work experience in general.
I don't agree with
He
that.
says he spent all his formative years locked up. He did not go through the same process as all the other applicants, which is true. He did not.
He
Because
did
if
not.
he did, we would have seen him. It was
I agree
like
with that.
literally 3 finalists.
I
They
think
get ready,
I
and then
blame-
all of a sudden he just.
I blame the
pops
media,
up.
right? And I always have a hate relationship with the media.
You sound like Trump.
Right.
I don't like
But
him.
He only
because
like when
this
they
is
talk good
because-
about him.
and I don't,
Right.
again, I don't know that man. I know some people who know him. I'm sure he's a great person.
He is nice guy,
But
really nice
the
guy.
first thing the news led in with was
His
previously
family-
convicted
Yeah.
murderer.
Yeah, right.
So
They-
from
they-
that
they-
point, it
and
set the tone for the conversation
Yeah.
to be. It wasn't man who's spent 7 years building community. It wasn't. It was literally convicted felon
Yeah,
Right.
gets job as,
Yeah.
and then they
I
lean
agree.
into he sidestepped the process too. So not only is he a felon, but he also didn't go through. So everybody immediately is gonna be like, "Ugh, I don't.
Right.
Exactly, because that's what
I
you
mean,
had.
that's
that's
what
the thing
you-
I be wondering. Like,
Oh, and then
like
they said as a felon, he couldn't even fill out a job application on the city website like the rest of the applicants.
fellas can't.
Points.
You know, they don't
We
want
gotta-
to. They don't
we
want to see
gotta sell it
fellas.
for a
They
president.
don't
None of
want.
that shit matter.
Right, they don't want to see fellas work and get back and be productive.
I mean, but
society,
look
and,
at this
you know
though.
what I'm saying? Like,
But your
is
boy,
that- is that like that's like a
Your-
scarlet
your
letter?
boy-
Let's-
no,
you know,
your-
Only
no,
scarlet
your
letter,
boy,
like,
your
they-
boy
that's
is
the
pushing
first
that
thing
though.
they do now.
But your boy is pushing that. Trump is
Pushing
pushing.
what?
He says that all these people are bad people. Send them back. They murderers. They blah blah.
That's
He's
the
pushing
immigrant
that.
people.
No, that
No,
you.
no.
Yeah,
No.
Oh, so now we
No.
got immigrants. Like we've been
Yeah,
immigrants.
I mean, I know
Back to
that,
Africa for
but
the last 100 years.
I
Now we don't
get
have
all
shit.
like immigrants in the
Like,
United
they-
States, but I'm
they-
talking about people that doesn't like
No, what makes you
doesn't live
think?
here in the U.S. that
You-
came
you-
over here.
No.
You think you
Not
part of
just-
the
no.
exception?
Let's go back to
That's what
Form,
that
right? Because
Let's
we jumped to the end of
Yeah.
this whole thing, right? So going back to the inception of it, to my understanding, is that it was a pilot project in Detroit, and it did really well in Detroit, and then they took it and brought it here. But I believe it was Detroit. But it was Office of Violence Prevention was a pilot project in another state.
But what do they do?
But
So
and then work in Detroit.
I don't know if they do here, but in Detroit, I mean, any typical nonprofit thing, right? But they were trying to, and I don't know how they did it, but they were trying to solve homelessness, jobs, child care, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
Whatever system Detroit put into place, it got their numbers down.
Hmm.
And so Milwaukee was like, oh,
I love
this is great. Let's take that and just carte blanche, put it over here and follow it to the T. And it didn't work. Then you had, and I think we're on our fourth now, but you had Hamilton go in there, and then Hamilton didn't work, and then somebody else went in there. So like we're like our fourth director in like 6 years, 7 years, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's been a rotating door of directors. When Ashanti got placed in there, I believe it was similar to what just happened. It's like Dog came in there and kind of took him from being the president or whatever,
The common council.
the common council, and
Yeah.
placed him over there. And people was like, "Yo, what the hell?" Like, and so
That
from
was a double dipping part.
from inception, it's never been presented in a way that people received it. And then when they changed the name, everybody was like, "See, I told you it was a fucking joke," because they can't even. And then it became some other things into which they still couldn't explain what the lateral move was supposed to change. So we went from Office of Violence Prevention to community wellness, and we didn't get an explanation over here, and we didn't get an explanation in the transition to here. It just changed.
And most likely won't. And from what I'm hearing, they did some kind of a town hall with Adam, sort of like they were trying to do with the applicants to, present them to the community, which
Right.
sounded like it did not go over. I'm still didn't go over too well
Really?
because they said it was badly put on. It was I heard from people that was actually there. They was like,
Poorly
it
produced.
was it was some kind of Facebook Live type situation.
Oh, it was. Oh, it was.
It was just
Okay.
yeah.
They did it. They did it for. They did.
I mean,
Because it got so much backlash.
To
Like, there
me,
was no-
to me, I don't see departments like that helping. I don't see, like you just said, we want to see like what are they doing?
It doesn't.
What exactly
it's
they
just
doing?
It's a redundancy.
Right.
It's no
I mean,
different than any other nonprofit out here. It's no different than 414 for life.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
414 for life.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing they're doing that Northwestern Mutual and Bader ain't already funding
Right.
and
you do,
already
right.
like. There's nothing.
They just
about
working
that
for the city
program.
and they get a
That's
city.
it.
They
That's
get
the only
to, they
difference.
get to working for the city, so
That's
they get
it.
city benefits.
That's it.
They
Like
get a
it's the
pension.
city's nonprofit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the benefit.
And I would argue with less visibility.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
I see the 414 Life cats. I see the Street Beat cats. I see them.
You
Right.
see them at a homicide press conference and stuff.
I
They'll be
mean,
there.
but that's
They'll
after
be
the fact.
there.
Once the light come on,
Right,
Right, that's after
you'll
the
see them.
fact.
That's it. But I'm really confused.
you know, and I have.
Like, I just don't know
we
what-
could look
what
at
is
the public
they do.
knowledge, but I'm also curious. to
Hey,
see
you
what
have
dogs being
experience
paid.
with
I mean,
working
me,
with
right.
that office?
Yeah, I
Have
would
you
wonder.
know anybody that worked with the office that can make some insight? Anybody out there that can in the comment section that can say if they worked with the Office of Violence?
Are you able to
safety
look
and
that up?
wellness?
Are you able to see how much the director of the office gets paid?
It's over 100 grand. I know
It's
that
over
much.
100 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody pay going on in the city up there right now. Everybody
Which
requesting
I
a pay
don't-
increase.
I don't have a problem with that because
I don't
I do.
either. I don't either. But you
city
got to
officials
produce.
have not gotten raises in
Oh, you're talking about no, just in general.
Over-
No.
over-
I
and
thought you
over
meant people
8
pay for him.
Oh no. And
Just in general.
in over 8 years, a lot of city officials have not said it. The salary of the mayor has stayed the same for the last 6-7 years. It's like,
Right.
okay, we do need to.
I mean, but at the same
Boost that
time,
up.
right? Like at the same time, if regardless if you got it or not, if we don't have it, why are we?
Because we
And that's where I struggle.
We ain't got
Lewis says it's 160,000 a year.
160.
160,000 a year for a man who reasonably has no real experience to justify that one.
Nope. And
Crazy.
from and another comment says he doesn't have the educational credentials like the rest
But
of the
that doesn't
applicants
bother me.
did.
Man, that don't bother me.
We get
Because
too caught up in that. That don't bother.
Right. Right. We
The
get
education-
don't bother.
that's not bothering.
That
No,
don't
we get it like everybody got to go to college. Everybody feel like everybody got to go to college to be able to
Yeah,
navigate.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I-
everybody, yeah.
Yeah. At least a buck.
Everybody,
At least a buck.
everybody doesn't have to. Everybody doesn't have to go to college. You know what I'm saying? Some of
I
our
would reasonably
brightest
agree
people,
with that.
some of our brightest people and our inventors never went to college.
I don't-
Half of them dropped out of college.
I don't think anyone's saying that. I think they're just saying the process. It was the process. It
No,
was-
that's
No, that's the-
that
no,
whole
no,
literally
No, he
said.
said he doesn't
Oh,
have
they
the
got-
educational
Yeah,
credentials.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't bid on
Yeah,
that.
the rest of
That's-
that.
That's
Like
not
his experience or his education level, like that has nothing to do
Nothing.
with.
because
his
some
ability
people
to-
are just super book smart and then
Right.
they
And
don't
totally
want to
don't-
do the work. They
Right.
don't wanna do the work.
Totally
Uh,
clues to the street. You get the book smart person
And
in
again,
there.
right? Like,
And you
that's
tell
right.
them to go here and fix
Like,
the street. You
yeah.
have
To
no
me, and it sounds
idea
stupid,
of
right?
with the street.
But the man has a doctorate in prison, in
Right.
in the lifestyle and the conversations, and the man did 15 years.
Right.
The man has 15 years. It only take you 8 to get a doctorate. The man
Right.
got 2 doctorates.
Right. Basically, right.
So would it be a little different for everyone if he was like an assistant to something, or if you get what I'm saying? Like
I
he
think the
wasn't the top
conversation
dog,
and the
but
problem is how he was presented.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the media
It's the whole process.
dogged him from jump. I think if the media would have came out like, "Hey, this guy who's done 7 years at this program and got X amount of people jobs and
that's
great.
No, I wouldn't.
about the good stuff.
No,
No.
but I'm saying,
That was-
how it was
presented that way.
It wasn't presented that way.
I would still be opposed to it just because he didn't follow the process.
No, there was to be opposition 1,000%.
Yeah,
but I
that-
don't think
that-
he had strong brass.
Yeah.
But he gave everybody the ability to be like, see, this is the shit I be.
But that's why they should have done it the right way, because if he
Correct.
did do all that outstanding work, they should have ensured that it was presented.
And
the
you
right way.
can't say that he came in late because he was already working in the space
Yeah.
where you should have been. It ain't like we just found this dude out in Texas.
Yeah.
He was a great, like he was here the whole time.
It's like
Right,
it's like
right.
you was being sneaky on purpose because you was trying to hide that.
Right.
Like, just come out right and say.
And
this
I
is
think
what
had he been one of the finalists
Yeah.
and presented the way the other finalists was, and
Yeah.
but then the mayor said, "This is who I'm
Who he
going
went
with."
Yeah.
They're
You
like,
know
okay.
what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Devin Robinson says, "I'm a 12-time felon. I've gotten more jobs and opportunities after I became a felon because I didn't let it stop me. Being a felon slows you down for sure, but it won't stop you." Loretta Young says, "Who's my aunt? Everyone doesn't have to go to college to be successful and
there you
productive." Louis Miranda says, "Bottom line, the mayor picked the wrong guy. He said that Adams' real life experience put him head and shoulders above everyone else. He said, if that's the case, I will put my real life experience combined with my professional experience against anyone in the country."
But respectfully, right? And this is where I live and how I live my life, so I can validate this. But I can't respect, and no disrespect to the people who posting this,
Yes.
you can't say that you would put your personal work experience and your professional work experience against Dog. Dog went out there and did it. You didn't.
Yeah.
So
He
like
definitely did now.
Like at the end of the day, it's easy to point at somebody else and be like, if I was dude, I'd do it different, but
Yeah.
you didn't go do that.
Right.
There's a reason that he got up and went and did it and you didn't, not to say good or bad or otherwise.
Right.
But to be like, I wouldn't do that, but I've never seen you at a whatever. Right. And we be quick to be like, we wouldn't do that, but then those same people have no track record of ever
Doing
being
that.
Right.
Doing that.
And
Right.
so the things that people are knocking him for don't bother.
Okay.
What bothers me is the communal aspect in the destruction of the communal aspect.
If that's what you
what
wanted,
bothers me.
if that's what you wanted, there's no problem with putting that person in that same category as everyone else.
He
presenting
should have
him.
felt slighted in himself, the actual candidate, for like just throwing him out there like that. You should have put me up properly. If you knew I was it, you should have put me up.
Mr. Lewis said he's been doing it, and he says he ain't white. That's the difference.
I mean, I think Buddy Hispanic, but I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm sure Buddy Hispanic as hell, but I feel
You know, but then I get that, but and then I looked at it from this standpoint too, is that I think Adams is of Hispanic descent as well. I don't think that a black man would have been able to be put out like that either, because had a black person been put out like that, yes, they went for the felon situation, but I don't think it. I think it would have went over even worse.
So here's my
Adam and
argument
Black.
to that, right? And this is gonna sound real shitty, but you're gonna follow me. But this is why
Okay.
I say I think it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been an issue because it's a black problem.
It's a black
When
problem.
people look at the Office of Violence Prevention, they don't look at that as a Milwaukee thing. They look at that as that's
But
a
I agree.
black person thing.
Correct.
So if a black person had got put in that same position, I don't think it would have been as much of an uproar or any more.
You don't think so?
It would have been. It wouldn't have surpassed what he got.
You think that a black man that has been convicted of murder, as he was, spent time in prison, only out 7 years, and
I don't think
plus
he would have
that
got more
conviction.
than dude that's currently
You don't think so?
because it doesn't reach suburban America. It doesn't reach suburban Milwaukee. The Office of Violence Prevention, Community Wellness, that's a black people problem. Whether that's the intentionality or not, that's the perception of the office. Is that you here to stop niggas from killing niggas. Like
Black
so,
and brown.
So when you look at that, if he had came in and be like, hey, we gonna put this black man in office in the same way, there would have been the same people just complaining about the same process. But there wouldn't have been, it only gets loud once it's the majority. We still not the majority.
Uh-huh. Well,
That's my take on it.
well, we don't use.
That's my take.
Well, I would say we're the majority. We just don't use. We're not as present as we should be to show that we are. The
We're
majority.
present in the wrong spaces.
Correct. I agree
As
to
we
that.
Should be.
So nobody else in the comments can say they had any experience with the Office of Safety and Wellness, Community Safety.
I don't know a single person who's actually engaged in the office.
I
Everybody
wouldn't
knows of it, but I don't know anybody who's actually engaged it.
Are we going to appoint a registered sex offender as the head of that particular office as well? Hey, good question, Lewis. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, you can, I guess.
I mean,
And
you
they're
know,
like, he's good for sex crimes. He can talk to the people who, or she can talk to the people who, you know, I don't. I mean, that's what he said though. He was like, yeah, like dog did 15 years for murder, so who better to speak to people than the man who already did murder? That's literally what he said. I'm paraphrasing.
life experience, right?
I mean,
experience,
yeah. I mean, I agree.
Typically, you know how like the FBI gets with the scammers and
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
They do. The concept is
I don't think that he should be in that role. That's just me because he didn't go through the proper steps. But I do believe that his knowledge is there.
I believe that
I
his
agree.
ability
I
to empathize and to communicate is better than most. Like
Yeah, for sure.
at the end of the day, I don't take away the fact that this man did this horrendous thing. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Murder is.
Murder is murder.
The
Murder's murder.
worst of the worst.
I'm not gonna go talk to a 14 or 15-year-old about homicide and do it in any real way. I'm not gonna be able to talk to a 15-year-old
No,
and be like, when you
you're
go to
not.
prison, this is what it's gonna be
Right,
like.
right.
I'm not gonna
right.
be like, yo, I grew up with a gang, so I understand the peer pressure. I can be like, hey, bro, you shouldn't do that but I can't talk to you about it in any way that you're gonna receive it and be like, damn.
But
I agree.
let's think
I
about
agree.
this side too. What if he gets too empathetic and he's now starting to sympathize with the people that are doing the crimes?
I
Like,
don't think that. I don't
don't
get
think
me wrong.
that's
You know what the office does. I don't think he would ever be close enough to influence. I think
Yeah.
my understanding of the office that they're supposed to put things into action that
to reduce
So what if-
to reduce or prevent.
so what if he starts doing things that just don't
They
They
gonna
don't
keep him there
they
longer
make
than
more
he should
sense
'cause
for
he
the-
already fucked up before they move him out.
Okay, Lewis.
make you know what I mean? Like start doing things to make it more perks for the criminal and be more
Me
understanding.
personally, I really think that it should just. I mean, I guess you got the one person that's over, but I think we need to have an individual at all police departments. You know, what I'm saying all districts.
Community liaison.
Yeah, right. And they do have
They
them,
do.
but they should have like violence of prevention. Each district should have a
I could
person
agree
there.
with that. I agree.
Lewis is
Because
speaking some facts over
It
here.
should be going out when they go out. Because they
That's the
there at the
question.
district
Yeah.
and know what calls are going to
And
what
you'll see the people
location. And
repetitively,
you
yeah.
can see and you need to.
Exactly.
And they
he
can
got out of town, right?
they
And he
can
don't go to
Maybe a caseworker.
They
No,
can
I
create
think
a
that
report.
office-
They
that
can
office
create a
off of Mill
report.
Road, I think.
Right, you know what I'm saying. So I think it should
agree
be
The
a district.
headquarters, I think.
You can
they-
create a report and you can divide that.
Yeah.
You can divide that
It's been
salary.
downtown.
Yeah, and that's what I would think. I think you divide the salary, like you said, divide the salary. You have someone at the
At each
district
district, yeah.
that's at the district that's actually working. You know, we got the police aid that drive
Mhm.
these non-police car, give them a non-police car, and they can drive within the community
That's
of these
true.
hotbed areas like the
It's
Meadows.
basically a caseworker. Like you
Right,
know,
like
the problems
Meadows
are, where
and
the kids
over
are.
there. Like I'm talking about 4th district right now, but you got a lot of places like where the 15-year-old got killed, where it was a lot of issues going on in that 76 and Silver Spring, right by that gas
Yeah.
station
Car
area.
accidents.
Oh yeah, car
You know,
accidents.
car
People getting
accidents.
jacked.
Yeah.
Okay,
So having these individuals, I think it need to be district based. Not
Lewis, you speaking on facts, but I would love for you to give us some comments. You said that he's been on meetings with the Office of Community Safety and Wellness for the past 3 years. He's saying that the job of the director is mostly administrative. He's not
Mhm.
talking to 14, 15-year-olds. He said each district does have a team already, which I know they have a crisis intervention team. I know that for sure, which is called CIT, and as well as a citywide team. But I would want to know, Lewis, you said you've been on the meetings with them. What have they done?
What is
to
the program?
address-
That is what's the program?
Yeah, what is the program? So
That-
Lewis, if you can
that-
talk
what
to
are they
that,
doing?
that'd be
What
great.
is the,
What are they
like-
doing right?
We know he's admin. That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna be out here talking, but again, then he speaks to what we need to do for programming, right? Like
Correct,
I had
right.
this experience. Had
Right.
I had this, that, and the third, I might have found my way. So what is the programming?
Here we go.
What is his knowledge contributing to the program to make sure that we ain't just doing corny, like
Yeah, you just showing up after
like-
what happened, what was in place beforehand to prevent, what's in place to prevent a 17-year-old driving around in a car, in a stolen car with a gun to her, and killing somebody.
and that's what nobody. What is the program, right? And,
So
and how is it
I
being
would really,
presented?
I'm saying I would really want to know.
But this is the problem. This is a bigger problem. But the problem is that you have and I'm going to go to the youth side of what I've seen, right?
Yeah.
Is people will talk to me, they'll come to me, oh man, like we're trying to do these youth programs and we're trying to, get these kids in, but the kids just aren't coming.
Mhm.
Okay, well, what are you doing? Show me what you're doing. All right, well, here's our flyer and here's our website. And all of this shit looks like a 45-year-old nonprofit director made this shit.
Right.
None of this looks enticing to a 14-year-old
Right.
who's trying to get into trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Right.
you're not presenting this in a way where that's the cool thing to do. You're presenting this in a way where it's a handout. It's help. It's like no kid
It's gonna go actually
at
help.
risk of anything is gonna go to this for the sake of coming.
Right.
Like, it sounds great. Oh, we got a PlayStation and we got free food and but this shit still looks corny as shit.
Right.
They still gonna show up and it's still gonna be radio edited music. It's still gonna be
Yeah,
all the lights on. It's still gonna be, you have to coordinate it in a way where they're safe, but it's still uniquely their space.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so I feel like with the office, the same thing is happening, right? Like it's a bunch of people trying to create programming who
Mhm.
really aren't the ones
Who need to be
engaged
creating it?
in the problems that are happening.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
or some version of that, right?
Yeah.
And there's nobody who's like, if you have a youth board with no youth, what the fuck
It ain't
is the
gonna work.
point?
Right.
We trying to serve youth, but nobody on the board is actually
Yeah.
16.
Right.
There's no help me understand how 14, 40-year-olds are gonna help a 16-year-old.
Exactly.
Right.
I
Lewis,
agree.
give us the short. Lewis said he will be saying this. His fingers is too fat to type out the proper answers. But give us a shortened version of something, because
You talk to text.
that was the right. That was the point. That was the point of our topic today. Was I really want to know what it is so that we can put this information out there, and so I can just be aware of what it is. Because I don't know. Okay, what if I'm having a domestic violence issue at home? Do I call them? Is that what I do, or what? What's up? Is the programs they offer and the work they do is all over the place, and that's the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's why we're sitting here wondering and asking.
It's
what
all
is it that they do?
from the outside looking in to the point earlier. It feels like it's just all admin, right? Like it's
Yeah.
all talking points.
Yeah.
Go to probably some fairs, put some flyers
like,
out.
Oh, we're gonna
Get
have
a,
job
get a
fair.
table.
And then what he said,
Have
and
some
which I
gadgets
totally,
on there,
which
candy,
I
so they can grab
disagree
the
with
table.
when he
Sign
was.
my book, so you show
Yeah.
that you came
You
to my
came, so I
table,
get the count.
so I can get
I
the
get
count.
the counts.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean-
So they can say I was here, did something.
And when he was
Really not
selected,
actually really doing
I
any type
disagree
of
with his press.
work.
I vehemently disagree with his press conference, because the first thing he talked about was talking about officers need raises, and I'm like, dude, that ain't your.
Base.
You need to be letting the chief.
Who
police
said
chief
that?
say that. He did.
Oh,
That was Adam.
Adam said the officers need raises.
Yeah, that's
Like
that was one of
the first
I mean,
thing
first
that-
thing-
To make some friends.
in
Bruh,
it was
No.
he said I
No.
can't remember which side. He was like, I'm not
Right.
I'm not. He first. I'm not a
Demo-
Democrat.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I'm like,
He was like,
bro,
I'm not a
nobody
Democrat.
asked
I'm
you
like,
that.
bro, that has nothing to do with what your position. Like, this isn't a political.
Nobody asked you, right?
If anything,
So
this is more bipartisan than ever.
So
because
now we're
men-
really looking at you sideways because what you saying?
And
bro?
I remember a lot of people in conversation when that first happened was like,
Yeah.
yo, like that really threw me. That the first thing he said was,
First thing out of
I'm
his
not
mouth.
a Democrat. Was like
Like,
the first
then
thing.
nobody asked you what your
Like, where
political
did that come
affiliation was.
Right. So like, it's just been a
And
bunch of
then
misfires.
he went
right?
into the whole thing
I-
was
I-
we get these officers raises because they do all this work.
But
Blah, blah, blah.
on
Okay,
his,
cool.
on,
I
on
agree
his
with.
side of things,
Chief should
I
have been
just-
saying that, not you.
on his side of things, I
Yeah.
just think that, you know what I'm saying.
And why couldn't you say you wasn't a Democrat or a Republican? Why'd you have to say I'm not a Democrat? I'm just saying.
But I think to his defense, probably prior to his press conference, he was probably hearing the chatter, the noise.
Because they
You
do
know
have
what
a
I'm
they're in a
So he
contract
didn't know
dispute
exactly
with
because I've been in
the city
position,
is in the
I've
contract
been in-
dispute with
right. I've been in a
Walk Police
position
Association.
where
Yeah.
I've been in a position to where, you know what I'm saying, you hear all this chatter, you hear all this noise, so you don't know what you thinking, what the first thing that other people are thinking. So then you're just saying this, like, okay, I'm not
thank
this,
you,
I'm not
thank
this,
you,
I'm not
Mr.
this,
Mayor,
I'm
for
not this.
the
The opportunity.
opportunity, and I'm gonna do
I
my
plan on
best.
doing the
to-
best. That's it.
whatever, and then be
Yeah.
done. That's it.
But,
But now people
leave,
looking
that
at
feels
you-
loaded. It feels like, oh, you here for a whole different
And
intention.
then he was like, and I'm gonna bring pressure, and if the mayor don't like it, he can fire me. I'm like, dude, you ain't even been in the job 5 minutes. What are you talking about?
Forget it.
But okay.
Let's bring the
I-
feds in.
I'm gonna keep that thought.
So Lewis says, just think of
Let's bring the
just think of
feds
office
in.
as
We
a
don't need
funding source for all other anti-violence programs. That's the job in a nutshell.
everybody else getting rich. There's people, there's organizations, and just getting rich.
The hell,
Just
let me
getting
Okay,
go.
rich.
I'm gonna call
Bye.
them tomorrow and tell them I got these 3 programs I'm running and see where
See how much money you get. That's everybody getting money. If they fix the problem, nobody need help. And nobody get, then the money stop.
First of all, we need, and I think I had this conversation when I was down here last time, but the first thing we need to do is we need to eliminate the redundancy of nonprofit and where money is allocated.
I
There's
agree.
9 different programs serving youth hunger. Put them all in one building, give them the funding, and let them go to their respective
Exactly.
communities.
Yeah.
But we got 4 different people going to Baird asking
Hey, I
for the
just sent
same
you
money for
something.
the same
I
reason.
want you to read it.
Like, we have way too many redundancies in the giving pool
Yeah.
of what we need.
Too
Well,
many,
give
they
them
got
what
too
you
many
need. I can do it
nonprofits.
better than they can
Everybody
do.
doing the same thing.
Give them what you need.
And everybody getting shorted as a result.
And that right, because you got 5 different companies, 5 different nonprofits, all y'all saying we doing, let's just say we doing reentry. Okay, so but we don't need 5 different companies
don't
doing
need 5
reentry.
Entries, right.
But we
I
do
just
the
gotta-
south
I
side.
gotta-
We
I
do
just
the
gotta
north
do it
side.
better
We only
than you.
do.
You got what?
I gotta do it better than you. I gotta outdo you and your re-entry so I can get more funding.
Right.
So
and
then
that-
it become a competition and not really try to help individuals.
but then everybody be short money all the time.
Exactly.
Right.
Instead of y'all
Everybody's
working
offering
like,
the
hey,
red.
we service 700 people. I service 20, you service 70, you service 40, and now I'm trying to build my case for
You
more
got
funding on 40 people. Like I've seen it, and I just don't understand why we keep doing this. But also, to be fair,
I don't get it.
a
either.
lot of people think that nonprofit work is easy money. Oh, I'm gonna start a nonprofit, and I'm just gonna go
Mhm.
around
Well, everybody, yeah,
asking
yeah.
for some money.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get some money.
I'm gonna
and
get
then
funding from blah blah blah
yada,
blah.
yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And so a lot of people, there's a lot of redundancies because a lot of people think that it's just easy money
And that's the problem here in Milwaukee.
in
A lot of
the
that.
501c3 space.
A lot of that.
It
Yeah.
is because a lot of companies, a lot of corporations,
Speaking of
and a lot
companies,
of-
you want to
a lot of rich
fun fact?
individuals.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Let's
Fun
go.
fact.
Let's
Fun
go.
fact.
So about it says only 22,000 jobs were added, a significant decrease compared to expectations. The unemployment rate has increased to 4.3%, marking a nearly 4-year high. And it says the jobs numbers was revised to a net loss of 13,000 jobs. The first negative hiring number since the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2020.
Mhm.
Yeah. You ain't hear none of that?
Yeah, why gotta get you like that?
So I was waiting for him to say something about that.
You were just talking about jobs. Go ahead.
Orange Jesus
Jobs.
talking that we're gonna have the best economy and all this stuff. What happened?
Sorry,
jobs-
Travis. He
I
set up. He set up for the play. Darcy and Travis.
Honestly, with especially with the economy,
Them job numbers is kind of bad, man.
yeah, I've never seen anyone the job numbers be revised. Oh, hold on, wait, we got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't trust that. I'm like that. I don't trust that.
You
I don't
fired
trust
the
that.
Bureau of Labor
I
director,
don't-
and
I
then
don't
all of a
trust that.
sudden,
Out of a sudden now, you
now
know
the
what I'm
numbers
saying?
had
the
to be
numbers.
changed?
So now I just don't get that.
Same.
But with that being said, you know what I'm saying, I think the way that Trump is handling the economy,
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's doing a bad job.
Oh, you don't?
I wouldn't say that he's doing a bad job. I understand that
Mhm.
there's going to be, of course, there's going to be some pushbacks as he's doing the tariffs. And I say that when y'all talk about the job, y'all gotta remember, you're all talking to an individual that ran a whole union, man. The International Steel Workers. So looking at my union-based element and looking at the job loss that we have lost over the years, especially in the manufacturing sector and other sectors within the state of Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying, and these jobs are leaving and going to other countries. We're not, and I can tell you, there's union people that's not going to go against the way he's holding companies and countries accountable to bring some. We're not going to get those jobs back.
Say that
Let's put
again.
it like this.
Say that one more time.
You said that one. The union what? Say that one more time.
I said I can tell you that if you talk to any union person, say you may have some people that's just totally against Republicans and how they're navigating. But if you talk to any common sense union person that pay union dues, that have seen their jobs leave the state
Mhm.
and then diminish to where it's only one facility like Bridges Stratton did, they're going to tell you that knowing that those jobs and our jobs went to other countries, I can tell you that we're going to be like, yeah, hold those countries. Yeah, you know what? They want to send those jobs and they want to send the stuff back over here and sell it to us. And they want to sell the stuff that we made here in the U.S. back to us that was made overseas. So yes, tariff them.
So do you?
Yes, tariff them back.
Do you believe the country should be held accountable or the company should be held accountable?
The company the company is being held accountable because they're going to be paying the tariffs. So you look at so you look at Bridger Stratton. So let's just and I talk about Bridger Stratton because that's the one that I can say that I have the history, the research, the hardcore research, facts, and all that because negotiating contracts for union members. And I can tell you, yes, Bridger Stratton, which was 5,000 workers here, sent a lot of jobs out of the United States of America. Yes, it was to please their shareholders to get a lot of that money, dividends back to give to their shareholders. But what that caused it, and Trump wasn't in office then, you know what I'm saying? And it was Democrats, Republicans that allowed this to happen to American workers. And no president ever wanted to address this issue, but allowed these jobs to continue to use them. Now, give it to Obama that, say he started giving these company incentives to keep these jobs in the United States.
You giving credit to Obama for something?
Sure, because he tried to give it to Master Lock. What? He came here to Master Lock and went there and drove all the way down center. But then 3 to 4 years later, Master Lock made the decision to leave when he got out of office. So I'm saying that to say it's something that we needed to look at, needed to address, and I'm glad that President Trump was one of the presidents that came and looked at it and wanted to address it because no other president was. Nobody ever touched base. They felt like, okay, if we was making this product that was an ally, that's an ally. We putting their people to work as well. You know what I'm saying? So we don't mind losing 5% of American workers. We got to do that sometime to keep our friends happy. And it just kept building up and building up and building up. That's one reason why Midtown looked the way it is, because this community where we at was like it was a prominent black area for a lot of those individuals that worked at Bridger Stratton, Harley Davidson, A.O. Smith, all of them. Capitol Court, yes. Capitol Court, yes. With Capitol Court, So they tore down Capitol Court and made Midtown. But what happened was that the job market and people was working was decreasing.
That was already going before Midtown went up.
Right, but Midtown went up. But they tried to save it though. They tried to save it and do that, but it didn't work. But everybody that lived in this area, the school system was good, MPS, Marshall was good, Custer was good, Washington was good. You know what I'm saying? So when the city started going down and these jobs started leaving, stop it. They had a good football team. But when these companies started leaving, that's when the tax income and people wasn't employed, and that's when it started happening. So, and that's been through all administration, governor. So I'm glad that he's coming in to hold and try to hold some of these individuals accountable and make it a topic to say, no, this is not good.
But what's happening though?
I'm glad you brought up jobs. Just look at what happened with South Korea. You think those 300 South Korean people that was in Georgia working at the Hyundai facility, the government didn't know? That's one reason why.
No, that's not true.
That's
not true. They were there to train. They weren't there for what you talking about.
What you mean
they weren't there working. They were there to train them on the systems for that company. They weren't there like that. Like
how long? That company has been in Georgia for over.
They flew them
8 years.
They flew them in. They asked them to fly them in to help them.
Look. That's
y'all immigrant terror and
all of them
scaring all the people away.
What you mean we scaring everybody away?
ICE is going in there rounding up people off their jobs, man.
That's a lady that called in. That's a lady that called in. She called in. She didn't know what she was talking about. They went. They hadn't investigated that. Those people were there on a visa for work. They were there. All of the instructions.
Right. I ain't trying to hear that. Look. The thing is that if you look at that and you see all these jobs, and I'm not going to say illegals got all these jobs and
they don't
all that, because I'm not going to say that.
What about the farmers?
But I'm going to say that there are individuals
being affected by this.
Of course, the farmers
and the terrorists.
Right.
Yeah, look at the farming. Who he said he loved? I love the farmers. I love the farmers. I'm screwing them.
But look, that's because
with no Vaseline.
No, the only reason that you're saying he's screwing them, the farmers, because yes, we sell our farm stuff out to other countries. Of course, our other countries are gonna, if we're taxing you on tariff, of course the other countries gonna tax us on tariff on our farming stuff. But the reality of it, you can tax us, but our import from your country here is way more than what you're taking from the United States of America.
They're figuring. They are figuring it out. They are all figuring it out without us.
So here's my question. It's twofold, but
Right.
here's my first question.
All right.
Because I know what your first knee-jerk reaction is going to be, and I don't want to hear.
Okay.
So don't tell me, oh, well, this doesn't say this, and right now, do you believe that we are in a recession?
Me?
No.
Oh,
Me?
darkness.
And don't talk
No.
about the ticker. Don't say and blah blah blah.
I would say no, but I say the reason why that interest rate was cut
Mhm.
is to fear off if one
It was on the way.
is on the way.
So if you don't believe that we're in a recession, and given what we're seeing happen
think it's a strategy.
with the flip flopping of the tariffs, but the ones that are sticking for now,
Right.
you don't think that that's going to lead us over the cliff?
I really honestly don't think it's gonna leave on the cliff because if you look at the
Please get this
percentage,
on camera.
if you look at the percentage,
Make sure we record this
of
part.
we're attacking of what they bring into the U.S. So we're really attacking that. So you got to remember the U.S. import.
We're attacking
export
what
is
exactly
totally
though? What
different,
are we
right?
attacking?
So what it is that we're charging them tariffs for the stuff they want to bring back into
Right.
here, right? So I don't think that is gonna make our economy as hurtful as everybody think it is because they're doing because it's hurting their country more than before it's hurting ours.
So here's
Way
my-
more before it's hurting now because they got people working breaking the stuff over.
So
So
in theory, yes, right.
Right.
But I think Walmart already has. Amazon did.
correct,
They're just passing the cost on to the purchase.
right,
So
And
if
I agree.
we're
Which
already
is the
in a
consumers.
spot-
right.
That's what I'm
Right.
looking for is consumer. Thank you.
Us.
If we're already in the spot where people are having a hard time paying for the bare essential,
Right.
milk, eggs, your toilet paper,
Right.
And it is high.
whatever,
Right.
right? And now we're introducing these tariffs.
Got to
which
do something, man.
we,
We got to do
have
something. We got to do
I'm
something.
not- I don't
We-
agree with the logic.
we have to do something.
something.
Do we just keep it? We just keep it low. We keep
They
taking
said
that
for
stuff
the
and
rich
stuff.
people to pay their fair share. They told
That-
you.
I'm not even
that-
tripping
that-
on the.
that's
I agree,
not
but I'm not
even-
even tripping on the.
I
rich
know
people.
that.
What?
You said you're
that's
interested
just
on the
a
fair
facade.
people? On the you
That's
said
a
you're not
facade.
tripping on the
You
what?
know that's a
Because
facade.
that's been well before we hear.
You got,
That's never- I'm not
you're
even-
never gonna have
I'm
to
not
change the
gonna
tax
defend
code.
energy
You're
on what
never,
we know is
never gonna have to change the tax
Change,
code.
right.
Everybody that's in business use that tax code. They're
Right.
never gonna
I'm not-
change
The
that.
more money you make, the more tax.
Right.
codes. So like, there's
Exactly.
just certain shit I'm not gonna
Exactly.
waste
They're
my
never gonna
energy
change
on.
that. That's just a waste of
Tom
time.
Hanks need to pay more. Like, I'm
Right.
not
Come
gonna
on,
waste
man.
my time.
That right. That we know
Like,
that.
I'm not, bro. Like,
Not.
Mr. President paid his
But you do know that's the
Well,
remedy.
Republicans are not gonna
Everything
take
else
that
we
tax.
talking about makes no sense either because
it is and
it's
it isn't,
greed.
right? Because
It's
the
greed.
one thing that I know, and we all know,
We're
is that
capitalism.
if
society.
even if they paid their fair share, because I looked this up a while ago, so I was
It
curious.
ain't.
There's only been one point in the entire history of this country that our deficit was at zero, and I believe it was Eisenhower, maybe.
That's in the 50s.
But it was only been one time in the entire history of our country that we've had a zero U.S. debt.
Okay. I'm just thinking back to the when Clinton left office right before, there was a surplus of money that we had.
But we were still
But we were still
dead.
dead.
There's only been one time that
We had
the debt
surplus, but we
counter
still dead.
was at zero,
Yeah.
right?
That
So
that
in the
would be
history of this country, we've always lived in a deficit.
Mhm.
In the deficit grows and it contracts and expands and it contracts
Right.
because that's just the nature of economics. However, we're in a space now where we've seen more debt than the country has ever carried.
It was in 1835. We paid off our last.
1835.
1835.
So
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson. Wow.
so
Typical New Jackson.
right. So set that as the tone. 1835 was the one and only time that we've ever been at zero on our debt counter. But now we've already established that that number is not going down anytime soon.
No.
Correct.
Right?
Nope.
We, to my understanding, I may have this wrong a little bit, but we either carry the highest or one of the highest debts of any country in the world.
Yes,
I would agree to
I
that.
would agree to that.
So I want to add this too. So next after that was Bill Clinton. He was the next
Which is
for
what you were talking
yeah.
about.
So that's what you were talking
We had a
about.
surplus.
That was
Yeah. Correct.
the 1990s.
Right.
So he ran the budget, surplus from 1998 to 2001. So that was the
When
next
George
time.
W. Bush took over.
So that was the next
So it's
time that it was
1835.
on.
The next time we seen some money,
We were
even
on
though when
track.
at zero was what 200 years later?
Yeah, and then
200 plus years later.
so 2000, Congress had put together a budget that would wipe the entire debt, and we could have been done in 2012.
But the thing is that if we wipe it out, it doesn't go away because it's gonna again
Right.
economics, right?
But we could have been back to
whatever.
Yeah.
back to square.
My personal belief, and this has nothing to do with anything before I go back to the last point, is I don't believe that a country can thrive if the country's in debt. Like, I don't believe that Milwaukee can thrive if Milwaukee is in debt. The people
Correct.
in Milwaukee can't thrive if the city itself is in debt.
Correct.
Right.
Because how can you operate?
That sets it, for me, that sets a tone to where we're at as a country. And then
Mhm.
a ticker we got that says like everybody would have to pay $115,000 in order for the debt to go away. Like, nigga, that's deflating as hell. Like, I gotta whatever. But
Yeah.
anywho, so if we know that we're in the greatest amount of debt that we've ever been as a country, we see that the cost of where we're at now is being passed on to the consumer. We've already acknowledged, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, that job loss is growing. Job loss isn't going to come back because AI and automation is going to make sure that
Right.
labor-intensive jobs are not going to be replaced. So at that point, you're going to have to go through specialized training in order to fix a robot, or you're going to do like a
No.
labor-intensive job.
No, you don't.
Right? Not labor-intensive job, a trade job. Excuse
Nope.
me.
I'll just go
Plumbing.
to automation.
Right, but if you go to automation, there still has to be somebody to fix them and do them. So if all I know how to do is work at Kohl's as a cashier, 'cause I have no hard skills,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to go get special training to know how to
No.
program or do automation. Or and before you say no, if you don't, you just have no job at all. So now you have a whole economy that has no job base at all.
No, basically what needs to happen, and one of the things that I'm pushing for is just like and I'm gonna go back to bricks was in like these schools.
When they have to,
Right.
yeah,
Rockwell Automation needs to do
But that's
that as
that's
well.
what train. That's
Because
specialized
Rockwell,
training.
because I
Right.
no, because I can tell you can go work at Rockwell right now without any type of training of dealing with
but they're gonna
anything.
give you some.
Exactly, they're gonna show you.
So you
Right.
You need your
Right.
training.
specialized training.
Well, I'm just, anywhere you go, they're gonna teach you. You know how to flip. You don't know how to flip no burger. They gonna show you how to flip a burger, right?
But
So
that's
you don't know how to build no
walk in.
car. They finna say right.
And it's different because at
That's
that
what I'm saying. It's a assembly line. It's an assembly line at Rockwell. Like what they build,
No, it's not-
it goes to the
Yeah.
line, and
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's the same.
Agreed.
It's just a modern manufacturing facility because now you're building stuff that operates automation stuff. But
Yeah.
you don't need a degree. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Agreed. You don't need a
basically,
degree,
but you need
you
training.
need your training.
and multiple companies training you, and that's why I want. And that's one of the things I'm pushing is for Rockwell to go into like tech, go into
Oh, yeah.
custard, go into because they're one of the
Vincent,
premium
but-
industries now. One of the biggest companies right now that all the countries are looking at for automation equipment.
All right.
So
let me-
that's where the future jobs are at.
I'm
Got
So
you.
pausing
getting
for a
those future jobs, companies
Uh-huh.
that's building this stuff out in the community, like the jobs used to be back in the days in these schools,
Right.
needs to get back involved. And that's one thing that I'm pushing about Rockwell.
So-
That's
so
what we need to do.
If
And,
we-
you know,
if we
Tech
talk
was
about
Adam Bradley Tech. So
Right.
Rockwell bought
and
Adam
Tech is a
Bradley.
great example, right?
Right.
So we
Yeah,
take
it
what
is.
you're saying. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it is.
If you talk about what you're saying, right, in terms of automation, and they
Mm.
need to go back into the schools and offer these programs,
Right.
which I'm not disagreeing with. It would be great. if
Because
they-
everybody in China that's building the product ain't got education.
You already beat me to my second point. So when you're talking automation, AI technology at this point, there are two very hard skills that you need to be very good with. You know what they are.
And with AI,
Like in order to do programming or any sort of whatever, there are two things that you need to be very you need to be able to comprehend very well.
math is one.
Math is one.
Yeah, and blueprint reading is.
I'll say that. I'll read math and read.
Yeah, math
Okay,
reading
yeah.
and blueprint.
I was gonna say
reading,
blueprint,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
What was the last score of our ability for our kids to read, understand, and do mathematics?
Oh,
Yes, low.
So
Low, very low,
why
very
would
low.
I, as a business,
Mm.
now the investment to teach you how to flip a burger at McDonald's and the investment to teach you how to manage AI is going to be two entirely different. It's going to cost me $37 to teach you how to flip a burger. It's going to cost me $3,700 to teach you how to program.
But it's a
automation.
tax write-off if you do it in school.
Up to a level.
Which that's what
Right,
they. So
to
what's
an
the,
extent.
But
You
I
didn't
can't
understand.
teach you if you don't
Write-off.
if you don't know the basic math skills.
right.
Correct.
I can't teach you. I mean, to a degree, right? Like I'm not going to completely say, but within reason, I can't teach you how to use this program that's math heavy.
Right.
It's light algebra. It's light whatever that
But
you need in programming.
That's why they need to get into school so they can let the kids know and
But
let the
Well,
students
well,
know what they
but-
need.
if they don't
What
have
they need,
hard
what they
skills.
need to know,
Bro,
what they need
wait,
to know to go to
But-
tech
But
still
with
doing that, though,
proficiency, to his point in reading, fourth grade is at 9%. Only 9% score
Jeez.
above or over.
That's low.
I'm
That's dangerous.
sorry, at or above.
Horribly
In
low.
eighth
Well-
grade, approximately 15%.
Right.
That's for reading.
Right.
Proficiency in
Is
math.
that Milwaukee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Proficiency in math for 4th grade is 12%.
Well, I mean,
For fourth grade.
we paid her $500,000, so hopefully she'd be able to break this up.
That's for 4th grade. And then for 8th grade, it's only and math is only 8th grade is only 8%.
You have the state.
8%, yes, 8.
You have the state of
So,
Wisconsin
and
and
to
public
that-
education
to that-
that also
thank you
needs
for that, by the way. To that
Yes.
point, bro. Like it's not that cut and dry.
It's definitely
Well,
not.
it's cut and dry because she just gave to the number. So our school system have issues that needs to be addressed. So who's leading us?
That's at listen. Those numbers are at or above. At or above. That's it. At or above. That's crazy. That's insane.
That's
why
wild.
would I, as Briggs and Stratton,
Right.
why would I, as Master Lock, why would I invest in a school system that isn't even giving me the bare minimum work? I'm gonna go
You're not gonna do
find
it.
my like they probably got programs in fucking
But you go, you
Hudson
but you
or
just
wherever the test scores are.
but
higher.
Correct.
that's not you're just not gonna just go invest, right? So if you go to whatever school you go to, you're gonna go there and say, okay, this is what our industry is. This is our standard of what we need our kids and our future kids to understand, and you work hand in hand with them to achieve those goals. That's what Briggs did with Tech.
No, you want to know what they
I'm
do?
saying? They came in with their engines,
Travis.
and taught them how to take these engines.
Wait,
Travis, do you want to know what they use those scores for?
Which Travis?
With those
Travis Dark?
dark skin Travis.
Yeah.
What they use those scores for is to build more prisons instead.
Pipeline to
totally,
prison.
I
No.
totally get that. So then you can look at the pipeline of prison on what the failing of the school system that's not providing adequate education.
I'm saying to
system.
take the money out of
It starts at home. That's why you need a community.
How do you get
But-
home?
but
We
that's
know
what
when people say that.
It don't start at home.
But we talked about home, what home can
you
look like.
start, but that's like you
that,
start
though. Okay,
getting
but we say that.
corporations involved
So whether
as well
so
with the
whether
school
it's-
system. You don't get the
whether it's at
corporation
home,
involved. That's
whether
the
it's
issue.
the school
You
district,
can't put everything on the school
whether it's
system.
the superintendent,
Companies have to get involved.
regardless of whose responsibility it is.
Right. It's everybody's responsibility.
It's
It's everybody's
everybody's
the
responsibility.
corporations and everything. If you need adequate employees, companies have to get involved in the education system.
So, to your point of tech, right?
Period.
Okay.
And you were right. They went to tech and they did the tech
Yes.
thing, and they taught you taking the engine apart and putting the engine back together does not require as many hard skills as it does for what's
How come it didn't?
working with your hands and building an engine, putting the engine back together is not the same as mathematics.
I totally get that. But you know, if you went to tech, in order for us to be in that trade class, we had to take drafting.
Right.
So we had to take the
I
blueprint.
didn't. I
reading.
know. I do know.
Right. We had to take blueprint reading. You know what I'm saying? We had to take the necessary classes and academic
No.
because it was telling us how to mic stuff. It was telling us how to measure stuff. It was telling us the combustion. It was giving us the knowledge that we need for that time.
Which is
We're in a different time now, which is the AI,
right.
the robot,
Which is
and the
totally
computer. So
understandable.
now we got to get those companies that's into that to invest in our children
but
and our education system.
as Travis Light said, that's gonna be hard to do.
How's that?
Companies
It's
are
like
not gonna
selling
do
an
that.
investment,
How's
bro.
that
Like if I
hard?
come to you and be like,
Because
"Hey, bro, I
you
want you
have-
to invest in my business. I'm
Right.
losing $4 million a year." You're gonna be like, "I'm not giving you nothing."
No, but if I come to you,
but I got to prove. I can prove my case. I go
Right.
like, "Listen, bro, my prospectus says in the next 15 years,
Right.
we're gonna be profitable, and you gonna get." You know what I'm saying? But if I'm trying to think of a real like GE Medical,
right.
MPS is gonna have a hard time saying, "Yo, give us $20 million over the next 10. In 10 years, we're gonna give you." And for the last 50, your test numbers have shown no track record. It's
Right.
not like MPS is going down and now we're
Right.
gradually working our way. It's a business proposal that if you invest in us now, we can invest in your workforce later.
That's what
And
I'm saying. What's
they
gonna be the problem?
can't.
Right.
But
They can't.
But I get what you're saying now. But maybe the superintendent that we got can
it's
make
not a-
that argument because they have to come to the table now. They can't wait until we get the test scores up to whatever it needs to be. We need them to come in now.
If the state
Because this
legislator,
is not
if
working. It's not working right now.
Wait a minute, you're asking the billionaires to come and help?
The billionaire
in the
the
system,
Is that because that's the
we
company?
wouldn't have a problem.
no, because these
That's who you're asking.
You can't keep pulling funding from a school district, bro, and then expect it to.
You got- right. But if you ain't got the same amount of kids, we just had this conversation before. But
We
if you ain't
did.
got the same number of kids in your school system, you can't ask for
Wait a
the same amount of
minute.
money.
So they just
Or-
goes to hell.
Or if
Go
the
ahead.
school system is messing up and not performing,
Dark
like
skin-
you wanna hear.
Dark skin Travis. Dark skin Travis. Dark skin. I have a question.
Yes.
When you say company, they gotta invest. Who are you talking about? Who are you speaking of when you say company?
I'm saying like I said, like GE. Let's say
So-
GE Healthcare,
So
right? Which is on the stock market. You got a million.
Cornisha
got somebody
said,
running.
not going to happen.
But it's
true.
more.
you're asking the
Right.
rich
They're not gonna do it.
people to give money to the poor kids.
How's it the poor kids? Why you always emphasize these are the poor kids? It's
I
the
didn't
poor
say
kids.
Poor kids because
Right.
they're,
No.
I'm saying they
I
are.
was
They're,
We actually the
listen, listen,
because
because
the poor
I'm
kids.
saying that.
That media to make it bad at first. Like the poor kids.
No, because that's what they consider them to be.
Like
You're
no,
asking them to give to the public schools, correct?
they do.
Listen, you're
They get the tax write off.
listen. Well, then why are we having this conversation?
Who's giving to who?
Conversation.
Who's giving to
What
what?
you mean?
What company's giving into
Yeah, what are you
NPS?
talking about?
No, what I'm saying, companies give to nonprofit organizations.
No, not school.
right.
We
NPS.
talking about-
give
we
to
talking about-
schools.
we talking about-
They
who- what's-
also give to schools. A lot of companies give to schools. I'll bring you a list of schools
For
that give
for
to
this
NPS.
reason, to help with their education.
Yes, I would give you. Yes, I would give you.
To help
I know
with that.
Northwest Mutual do.
Yeah,
There are-
NPS.
There are programs that
Yeah,
give.
they got-
I don't know if they give them hard dollars.
I mean, they cutting out. No, they ain't cutting.
Okay.
They ain't cutting no
I'm
$1
not
million.
gonna do that. They ain't
They ain't
doing
cutting a
NPS.
million.
So
checks.
they're like, yeah, we'll give you an extra computer or a laptop, or we'll fund the
A
printer.
Chromebook.
Like, yeah, like, but they not. But right again, to your point, that's right off.
I don't think it's
Right.
going to NPS.
They do that right
I don't think it's going to
NPS.
P. I don't think it's going to NPS though.
But
But-
no, it's going to somebody's pocket.
I think those money. No, I think that
I
money
mean,
is going to.
What's that? Was it the 12 minivans?
Right.
That
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
like it's gonna go somewhere,
Right.
but it's not
That's still sitting in
necessarily
the parking
like ain't moved yet. Like, oh, it's crazy y'all brought that up. We was just about to start moving them.
Right.
Like at a certain point.
It
we
ain't going
got
to NPS. I know it ain't going to
We
NPS.
got
It's not going to NPS. Man. That money is going out to the outskirts. That money is not.
Man.
Because if you go, like I said, for example, my son went to NPS. My son goes to St. Francis. They have community councils that give into the St. Francis School District.
Mhm.
And they're doing stuff in St. Francis School District that NPS is not.
Bro, listen, when I went to school, they had Rotary clubs. Our Rotary club don't
Man.
get NPS. They
You
had
know what I'm
the
saying?
North
So
Shore
I know
Rotary
for a
Club was
fact
giving
that them
money
dollars
in-
is not going to NPS, bro. Them
Man.
dollars are going to
I can
outside.
tell
$2
you. I can tell
They're
you
not.
that I don't know as in the dollar amount that they're giving,
Mhm.
but I can truly tell you that I know for a fact Rockwell is teams up with NPS. I know a lot of engineers and a lot of
That's
people
doing stuff
that's
in
doing
NPS?
stuff with NPS. and
Okay.
give money to NPS.
program wise.
So
right?
and give money, and give
Program.
money. Right, but they give money for the program. I know. I know they're doing.
Can you name just one program you think that's going to that you feel that you think it's going to? One program.
I have to, let me get back to you. I'll give you some information on that because I just know someone that just did something with an NPS school just 2 days ago.
Okay.
Wait, Monday.
I do
He did.
know Rockwell has a
So-
pipeline to have employment
To
after
employ-
high school to
Yeah.
go
Okay.
there.
So we,
Which is- I think
But that's
it's needed.
different than, to your point, money, right? Like
Right.
I know there's program and I mean even with MATC what they've done and like having like there are people who are supporting NPS through programming, but I don't know people who are cutting.
Cornisha said, "Why would Tulsa Waukesha Brown deer?"
Right.
So school,
Brown-
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know anybody who's out here championing that they funded NPS.
right. No,
We-
I don't
we-
think nobody's championing.
We can give y'all some jobs or we can teach y'all
Because
I'm not
it-
taking away.
So-
when you
That's
look at
needed.
So, GE Foundation gave a $20.4 million grant, and this was for the math and science education.
So STEM, because STEM is
Yeah.
STEM. Okay.
Yeah, so
STEM
I
is where
think
it's-
there,
well, at
there's
one
STEM
point-
everywhere, but
I don't
that
know.
was the one with the money piece, but everybody like contributed
using it.
something else
Yeah.
like to the program.
'Cause I don't know if STEM is still the popular thing right now because
That was 2019. So.
Okay.
But you know that's where you and that's why people have been pushing.
but the thing, the other thing, but-
where we're headed.
But the other
Correct.
thing, when you look at NPS and you look at the stuff that's going on, you see, you know, the students fighting the teachers. You know,
Why?
saying they didn't want. They
Why?
didn't
What?
want.
The
they
who?
didn't-
Who was
the
like?
students fighting the teachers.
Why?
They didn't want the officers in there. You know what I'm saying?
Are you
know,
talking about? Are you talking about physically fighting teachers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know. Oh no. Oh, I know.
But
that.
Travis, why do you
I'll
think that's
talk to you.
happening?
Matter of fact, I'll get you a question in a minute. I can't think of her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She go to Evolve with me, and she had a court case coming up that I wanted to go to. She was the teacher that they fired at Washington, that her daughter was being disrespectful for a teacher, and then they called her to let her know.
Oh, she was a principal somewhere,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and she went, and she
was
went
the
there to
principal.
go holler at her daughter, like, oh, you know what I'm saying, and and they like, oh, you have to, and then they.
Oh, I didn't hear about
They
that.
Oh yeah, that was that was news. That was news.
Oh, was she the principal at Washington?
Yeah.
No, she was assistant principal somewhere.
So she,
she
went
went
to
to
court,
up
and
to
they
the
tried to get her to take a plea, and she's like, "No, I ain't taking a plea. You see all these kids being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Mine ain't finna do it." She said, "Like, if it's mine,
I missed that.
she said, it's mine."
That was, I think that was,
She said it was mine. She said it was mine.
few months. Yeah.
And I went to go handle mine.
I mean,
And she was like, I
don't have issue with
she
that.
want to go to court.
I don't have
She said
issue
she
with
wanna
that
go to
at
court
all.
because she see all these teachers going to
Yeah,
come
but
on her
fine.
behalf
With my
and be
time.
like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? These
I mean, we
kids
say
are
it's a
trying to
problem.
fight.
Uh-huh.
They're trying to, they being
They be
disrespectful.
very disrespectful. Yeah.
They're being everything.
Very
But,
disrespectful.
You know what I'm saying?
but that's
So-
part of the problem is that people are, and I get it to a degree, right? Like, people are scared, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had an incident
Mama's
3 weeks ago where something happened. I was like, "Hey, boss, like this not what we own. So what we finna do?" And we got done. It was like, "Yo, y'all handled that like some." Bro, I handled it like an adult. Like they're
Right.
kids. I'm an adult.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like when I approached the kid took off. Like the kids are only strong in numbers.
Right.
Any teenager by themselves will never, unless they just
They-
completely go,
They got the audience.
they're gonna get little. They only tough when they in numbers.
Yeah.
That or they got a switch on them. But guess what? So do I. So one of us ain't gonna miss. And I got more time at this than you do, buddy.
Right.
So how do you want to play?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't. I don't know when we got here, but we don't play adult and child.
Correct.
I'm afraid of the child.
Correct.
That's my first.
That's not my child.
Well, because they see
I don't want to.
because the news report the children as being, savages and all this stuff. So, that's the thing that's out there, that these kids are untouchable. You can't say nothing to them. Everybody got to switch and blah, 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 and all this.
And I'm here to.
I'm
tell
gonna call
you,
the
you
police.
can.
You hit me. I'm calling the police. Child abuse. Child abuse.
I would
child
tell my
abuse.
kids that all the time.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
They
I'm
be- hey,
not abusing you. I'm correcting
Hey,
your behavior.
what did your mama tell you?
I'm correcting your behavior.
Hey, I brought you in this world.
I'll take you
I'll
out.
take you out.
Mama wouldn't-
Hey, we ain't
my,
talking
mama,
about
my mama's watching us right
Again,
now.
old-
Right.
older
Hey,
mentality,
yeah,
right? But like,
right.
there's at least 4 people on my block who could beat my ass at any given time. No
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Like there was 3 neighbors that had full autonomy to tear my ass
Right.
up if I was outside.
Right. But
doing
there was a reason, because you brought up though dark skin, Travis. You brought up that people that the teachers union was trying to fight them bringing
Auxiliary officer.
auxiliaries office back in. And they were
Right.
doing that for a reason, because now you're trying to hold up funding for NPS if we don't if we don't put these officers in there.
You agree
That thing
to
was
it.
wrong.
Right. You agree
No,
to
they
it.
fought them. They
No,
fought them to get
no,
them out.
no.
They fought to get them out.
No.
Yes, they
They
did.
signed.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait. On when we did the shared revenue, to get the shared revenue for Milwaukee and David, even though y'all hear that he could increase taxes again in Milwaukee, though,
Who?
and the wheel tax.
Who?
I've seen the wheel
Yeah,
tax.
Oh, yeah, I think the
I've
wheel
seen
tax.
tax.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I had to get an address in somewhere else.
My car gonna be
You are
going on
my
down.
car registered.
Oh, now y'all finna go to Walkie Shop. Now you finna go to
My
the
car
car
registered in
Walkie
Ozaki.
County. You put your car in. Cause you gotta pay $200 some in wheel tax.
That's just
But-
crazy.
Ridiculous. But lost my train of thought. But
It was forced upon
because
the
they
legislature
agreed
forced
to it.
because they had no choice.
Right. Because parents
They needed their money.
the parents wanted the officers in there.
No,
How come they did?
That's
How come they don't?
That's backwards.
No, y'all- they didn't want the officers. in there?
No.
They
What
was
did
fighting that tooth and nail.
So why
Man,
did
They was fighting that. The government
Man,
takeover
man,
NPS years back. They fought that tooth and nail.
it wasn't even a government
And the
takeover.
only reason why-
We tried to give the mayor of the city controller NPS.
They didn't want that.
They didn't.
Whatever
it was, they wasn't
They didn't
having.
want that.
Man, look.
And the only reason why it was agreed upon because the legislature was holding up the funding.
Yep.
They need money.
But the thing
But
about
the argument was who was going to pay for it. That was the
Correct.
whole.
But the argument also is that the police resources that was being called to go to NPS every day,
Outweighed
multiple
the
times,
number of having officers in
we'd
the
rather have one there because we still gotta respond to the
Again,
money that's there
one
anyway.
officer versus 700 kids. You still gonna call them bad boys anyway?
But but you still,
Okay.
but you got
gotta go back at
direct
that point. You gotta go back.
but you got direct contact and you see exactly what's going on. You
But-
identify the situation using your training.
40 kids
But
break out.
there-
That one
there-
officer gonna be like,
But but you know what I'm saying. But you're
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, but they there anyway. So you might as well just have one there in the schools that's needed.
Tay, do we got time for one more subject? Because I want to touch on something that we touched on earlier. Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
So you mentioned after all these inflammatory comments that this man has made towards the black community, you are okay with Charlie Kirk. You said
I don't have a problem with some of the things that Charlie Kirk was speaking about. You know, and I'm not gonna say I'm 100%, you know what I'm saying, agreeable on some of the things that he said. I really didn't know.
I don't
too
agree with
much.
nothing he said.
I don't know. I didn't know too much about him, you know, because I never really listened to him. I did after his death. I didn't know that he was over Turning Point. Of course, Turning Point is here in Wisconsin. I'm very familiar with them and have worked with Turning Point before.
You did?
What
kind of work you
not
did with
work for him, but I work. I know Matt.
They've been in the same
you know what I'm
room.
saying? Been in the same room. We have to have conversations.
It wasn't
So,
a bathroom, was it?
No.
Oh, okay. Just had to ask that.
No. But you know what I'm saying. But some of the things that he do, that he said that he stands for, I agree with.
Okay. And specifically, you said his comments about the LGBT.
Yeah, the LG. Yeah, and
Why are y'all
that's
so
just
stuck on
that's
that,
just based.
I don't understand that. Why y'all
that's
so
just
stuck on that?
And that's just
It's
based
low-hanging
on my no, that's just based on.
Because I can't, and for me,
I look at it like
for me,
this.
I'm not going to give up what you were saying about my community just because I don't like, because I'm against
everybody say stuff about our community. White, black, other blacks, other whites, Hispanics, Middle Easterns, everybody that's right here in our community that's even reaping the benefits off of our black dollar in the black community. So I don't take that, saying as an issue that I should be addressing. As in pertaining to men going into the girl bathroom, I got a problem with that. Men that are taking pills to say that they're taking their XY chromosome to be in sports, I have a problem with that. I understand that the only way that life is created is between a man and woman. That's what I agree with. I agree with what he was saying as in pertaining to with the LGBT community and the transgender. I just don't agree, and that's just my religious belief or how I grew up. I just don't agree with that. And it's okay to debate and understand, to have a disagreement with something, to have a discussion about it. I'm not pushing your discussion.
The things you said about black women.
But it's just like, even like Snoop, even like with Snoop. Snoop said that he took his kid to the cartoon, and his son is sitting asking him like, "Hold on, there's two girls together. How do you have the babies, Uncle Snoop or Dad?" And Snoop was like, so why are we seeing this in cartoons? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I have a major issue and a major problem with that. And I agree with him on Charlie Kirk with that.
How do you feel about him saying that blacks were better under slavery?
And that the Civil Rights Act should never happen.
I'm even looking at the Civil Rights Act, and I've said this before, I feel that our Civil Rights Act has got hijacked.
By who?
The LGBT community. They're using the Civil Rights Act laws to benefit their agenda and accomplish what they're trying to accomplish for them.
Because you shouldn't be discriminated against for a choice that you make in your life. Though.
Look, I totally
I didn't choose to be black,
but
it helped me.
Right, but don't change. But they're going farther than that to change the laws to have men go into girl bathrooms. They're changing the laws to have
transgender neutral bathroom.
Right. No. There's a law. It wasn't a transgender neutral bathroom. It was that if I identify as a female, that I should be able to go into a bathroom.
Okay, so how was the civil rights bill?
Because they're using the discrimination element of the civil rights to say, "Oh, we're being discriminated because I feel like I'm a female." And they're following them laws. So they're using the civil rights laws to benefit them to say, "Hey, well, you're discriminating against my kid because she's a transgender and he should be able to go play basketball over there." Okay. And so then they're using the civil right, the discrimination, and using that and following the laws and going to the Supreme Court and doing it that way. So that's why I feel that they're using that benefit of what used to protect us, because black, we didn't choose this color. I'm not going to say a person chose that they say they're a man or in a woman's body or whatever. I'm not going to say that neither. To me, I think that's a mental health issue.
That's a personal choice.
No, I think it's a mental health issue. Honestly, that's what I think. I think
Mhm.
just like, kids, we grow, I think that's a mental health issue. To say that, you're a guy and you feel that God got it wrong and you actually should be a woman.
Do you think it's a mental
I
health
think-
issue for one to feel like their race should be superior to another?
Ooh.
A mental health issue for a race to be. I think our race is the one is blacks should be superior. So, I think, black is in everything. I feel that way.
But Charlie Kirk,
It's just more of them.
Yeah.
So when you say superior, it's more of them. We're only 13% of the population. Imagine if we was 60-some% of the population.
that wasn't my
What would we
question.
say? No, I don't think it's a mental health issue that I think that you say that, our race is superior.
No,
I
that
don't
there's
believe
that Charlie
any
Kirk
race
and
should-
friends.
I don't believe that any race should be superior over one other race. I don't believe.
Do you
that.
think that's a mental health issue to push that agenda?
I don't know if I would call that a mental health issue.
Mm.
I don't. That's different than me being born a male and me saying I'm a female. And then that's totally different than
I'll let him respond to that. Then I have a local drop for y'all, and I'm sure none of you knew about this.
I
But we
want
just dropped.
some clarification, not to put
Yes.
you on the spot.
Go ahead.
So do you have an issue with people being gay overall, or do you have an issue when it comes to like men who identify as women being in women's sports?
I don't.
Or do
I know.
you have
I don't have a problem with anybody choosing that they're going to be gay and how they live their life.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
a problem when you try to push it and you try to change laws to push agendas on everybody else.
But if those particular individuals
That's
are being
what I- that's-
discriminated
that's what I have.
against,
That's
it's
why I
because
have.
of their
That's why I have a
personal
problem.
choice. That's the problem.
That right, and that's why you have the disagreement. That's why you have the dialogue to say, no, you're not. I don't believe that. We can have that debate, and if I choose to say, no, I don't believe that, and you're not going to push the laws to change the laws to where my daughter could go in this bathroom and then I got a dude in the bathroom because no, you're not going to push that. So you have those individuals with the disagreement, and that's where the dialogue comes. So what happens is the people that who believe that is more superior. That is more of them that believe that. That's who wins and get to change the laws
So my
whatever their gender it is.
my question to that, which kind of reflects her question, is
And
where-
I know gay people. I'm cool with them. We have fun. We talk. So let's get
don't do
that out
that.
there.
Don't do that. I got
I'm
a
not-
best friend
I'm not.
that's gay.
You
Don't
know,
do that. My best friend is
So
gay.
my best friend
Don't do
is
that.
black.
Don't do that.
Please, yeah, please
Don't do
don't.
that. Don't do that. Don't do
I ain't got
it.
nothing against the gay people.
Don't
do
even-
it.
don't
I
even-
can do it.
I
That's
don't
don't
do
change the laws.
I got a gay neighbor. Don't do it.
Right. I'm just saying. You can't be like you want to take father and mother out of the dictionary and put inseminated parent. You just doing too much, man. You doing too much.
My question, right? And this is where I live in every aspect of what I try and see.
Okay, I love to hear this.
If you replace what you're saying with black, you don't have a problem with it.
No, because no. How do you mean black?
So
I
you're
don't have
saying,
a. Like what goes back to what I said. I didn't have this. For me, I can't hide this. I can hide my gayness,
right, but you're saying like,
I
you're
have
trying
a
to
gay-
enforce,
but I can't hide.
and you're
this,
trying to
right?
improve, and you're trying to move forward, and you're trying to. That's what the civil rights was. That's what we did based on
Our
whether
color.
we chose,
Right, our
whether
color.
we chose it or
Right,
not.
but it was our
Correct.
color.
It's the same.
I get what you're saying. That's what I said.
And
But
so that's where I'm like, I'm
It's under the
kind
same
of
lens.
but by color, I can hide my color. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Like
but
even
but then-
you can't hide that. But anything else you can.
No, you can hide being racist. They choose.
You can have all that, but I
They-
can't hide this.
They can hide
That's
being.
something I can't
They
have.
can hide being racist
Yes,
and living
yeah,
out
of
loud,
course. Everybody hide that for years.
but they're not.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't hide.
You
this.
don't think any of the laws that are being passed or being overturned, or you don't believe that any of that has to do with racism? None of it.
Which one? What law?
Pick
Yeah.
one.
I
Pick
understand.
one.
I understand.
Pick one. Rose Best Way. Which law?
That's
What's
not racist. That was
saying.
well.
Which
well,
laws?
that's
been
discriminatory
overturned?
against women. But
I know,
okay.
but what
That's
laws
so.
been
That's
overturned
because so
because
many.
racist?
That's so many white women had so many abortions, and now they want to.
We're 13% of the population. When they talk about abortion
That's a
and crimes, they
racist.
only talk about blacks. So when they like, and that's what I'm saying. Like
That's
when they
because
say,
white
when
women
they
were
talk about
having.
welfare, they only talking about blacks. They only talk about the 16%.
Or they don't. They
It's
infer.
38 or
They
48%.
infer.
They infer.
Right, but
Infer.
when you see a TV and you get people on the TV that's talking about cutting things and all that, they only pertain to black and Hispanics. They don't say nothing about the 68% of the community in the United States is white, and more of them is on welfare than black.
So
They
why?
only geared towards that 13%.
So why don't you have a problem with
Because
that?
because of that 13%, they make sure they put that's black.
So why don't you?
But that's affecting more of the whites.
So why
in
aren't
the
you
black?
fighting over here where we're saying
What do you
stop
mean?
doing that?
What
Why?
you mean stop doing that?
Why is your fight?
The media does that. We do that. You just said, you know,
No.
you just said
Wait,
the
hold
laws.
on, hold on, hold on.
We're
I
talking
think
about Charlie
we're having
Kirk
two
and
different
Charlie.
conversations a
Yeah,
little bit.
we're
Right.
talking about Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk was pushing the agenda that black people are doing all these bad things. Black people are bad. Black people this.
He's talking about the homicide. No, if you got 13%,
No.
if you got 13% of the population
Uh-huh.
and 48% of the color of the blacks doing homicide,
No, that's not
Yeah.
true.
look it up.
I looked it up.
Oh, what
So
is
the
it?
crime rate between black on black crime is
Right.
at 91%.
Okay,
White on white, 83 to 85%.
okay,
Hispanic, 75. Those
Okay.
are all very close.
okay.
There's no
Right.
reason we
So-
should
so-
just
so
be
wait,
saying.
wait, hold up. So you're saying 91% of 13% of the population compared to 81% of 68% of the population.
I'm telling you
That's-
that the
when you say
homicide
that,
rate in each
the
race
rate of the
is
blacks
close.
are more that's being affected because we only 13%.
I said black
and
on black,
91%.
white on white is what I said. I'm
Right.
telling you that if
Right.
we're gonna talk about topics, let's be fair about them.
Yes.
And also
And
let's
it's 86%.
listen. Let's also. So I'll give you 100%. 100% of white men are the ones that commit the mass shootings. Let's talk about that. 100.
Yeah, 100%.
It is.
We just
Oh, you
had-
did.
right, we just
There's
had-
no black people
did.
involved in that number. Not
Right.
one.
I don't know
heard-
why. You said the mass shootings?
Yeah.
It was a black person that did the mass shooting at the bus game.
Did you
I'll
see-
argue-
did you see
I'll
yourself?
argue this.
Did
Hold
you
on, hold
see-
on, hold on, hold on.
The mass shooting that's going on.
Because I know he's gonna lean into something that just became recent.
Yeah, come on.
What mass shooting at the Bucks Arena?
The fact you're trying to find it, that
But-
is crazy to
I don't know
me.
what you're talking about.
Let's understand that a mass shooting just recently became defined as anything over, I believe, 4 people.
Right.
Anything over 4 people?
I believe it's 4 or 5.
Right.
So anytime more than 4 or 5 people get hit, it's
That's
a
why
mass
it's
shooting.
Okay.
Right. So by that definition, no, it ain't just them. But before that went into place, and we understood that Columbine was the definition of a mass shooting,
Mm-hmm.
it was absolutely not us. And we didn't start being in that conversation until they put a number on it,
Mhm.
and we could hit that number.
On purpose.
No pun
Hey,
intended.
but we did, though.
Okay.
But even that shit, like, even that, man, now,
You got
they're
Samuel
talking
Hook?
They
about-
consider
they
that-
consider that. They said nothing about the Bucks Arena.
But I'm
I
asking
don't
you
know. I've
this.
never heard this
You
story.
talk, listen.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Up the street.
You just
I know
named
what you're
Travis, you just named 2 situations.
Right.
You have a billion more to talk about, and you named 2. What? Listen. What in you as a black man made you even do that?
Do what?
We're talking about 2 cases over all the cases you know of white men. What made you even do that?
Yeah.
Bring that up as a highlight.
To
What made you
break
do
that up because
As a black man, what made you do
because
that?
as a black man, we target one. Let's talk about everything.
No,
Just
we
not
don't.
talking what
You
because
just targeted.
because we play the race up in
Listen,
all the
you
time.
just targeted.
Let's not play
You
the
explain
race thing.
on us, though,
No,
bro.
let's not
The
play
right
the
element
race
is staying
thing.
on us.
Let's be
We
fair.
put
Right?
it out there all the time. like
And I don't
we
want to
make it a
defend
holiday.
him at all, but I will in this case.
Oh, Lord.
No. We only know what we're exposed to. He knows
Okay.
that at front of mind because that's a community in which he's in and that he sees and what he knows.
I'll give him that.
Like, so I don't
That's all
fault
I'm
him for
giving
bringing that up because that's
That's
what I
all
would
I'm
bring
giving.
up.
Right.
Because that's what my news cycle and my social circle is going to discuss, which is at front of mind when you're like, yo, who got shot? You're gonna be like, oh, 618, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But if you go out, to Thingsville,
Mhm.
they're gonna have an entirely different because that's their immediate social dynamic.
Yes.
So I don't feel
I
like
give it
that
that.
was intentional. I feel like that's just where we are right now.
Because it's local.
Well, can I ask this?
Okay.
Anytime we talk about anything else, he's global. But for this reason, he knows 2 people.
No, that's because y'all bring up Trump.
He just gave us 68% abortions and all over. Stay with me, okay?
I give her that point. She's absolutely correct.
We go stuff
So what we
about Trump. We go
Travis
practice
in-
stuff about here in Wisconsin. I'm gonna tell you what I
You
know.
kinda got a point.
Wisconsin.
I mean, I get that
I'm just
to an
saying.
extent, but what we're saying is, Dark Travis,
Right.
He brought up 2 cases like what?
Jesus,
That was
what we
a great
saying
comeback.
is,
It was really 1.5 because we don't even know what you're
and
talking
as
about.
light skin Travis said before they put a number on it, you had a lot of these mass shootings were done by white men.
Well, we've never
Charlie-
talked about mental health for white men. Why?
Right.
I get
Or
you.
that white
Why?
females are raising these mass shooters.
I don't
I
think
get
talk
you.
about it because when they present the situation, it's always at the front of. If you ever pay attention, right?
Mhm.
Swear to God.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch a news story
Yes.
and somebody gets shot and it's
Yes.
a white person,
Yes.
there's always a manifesto and there's
Yes.
always a parent who
Right.
says that they were already suffering and they quantify the story
Correct.
Right.
before it ever goes out that this person
Correct.
must have already been suffering
And
well
we-
before
right.
we got here.
Right.
Like,
Correct. Yeah,
if we
that's
do
true.
it, it's 3 times felon in
Yes.
like they quantify the story intentionally
Yes.
that
I
they
totally
preface
agree.
it with, oh, well, we talked to his mom, we found her 3 minutes after the shooting. Oh, well, my son's been in, therapy for the last 4 years and he's already suffered from, and so
Yeah,
and people
But we
are like,
gave him a gun. But we gave him a
we
gun.
gave him 7 of them.
We gave him a
Yeah,
gun.
we gave him
So,
7.
but Travis, dark skin Travis, that's the problem. Why are you teaming with them to find things on black people so you can have these conversations like that in that
What do you
manner?
mean?
Because you went out your way to try to think of something. 2 small cases.
No, it ain't too small.
Like,
cases.
no,
I'm just
yes,
saying.
they were small compared to what
That was,
happened.
and that was
No,
what,
no,
21
no,
when we
listen.
won the championship.
I'm not trying to.
That was because you talk about mass shootings of
In its
white men
entirety.
of schools, right?
I'm talking
I
about
get
mass shootings. I asked you
Right.
the number there.
My
'Cause you
thing
knew
is-
percentage
right,
and
you said
everything else. And I
100%.
would
I'm
think
like, no,
crime.
I just said no because I know
I would
some
think
black
you would know
mass shootings.
crime over abortion. I would think you would know the numbers to crime
what?
over abortions.
Right.
You just
But
spit
what
out
is
all
it?
the number of abortions. I would think you would know crime being you were a felon. Being you
Yeah.
are a felon.
You just like 13% of
Of what?
some abortions.
You just went crazy about it.
Definitely did.
You just made up a bunch of numbers.
You definitely just rattled off like 4 numbers when we talked about abortions, bro. You
I
definitely did.
said,
You
I
definitely
said
Regarding
13%. Only thing I
abortion.
said was 13%.
No,
was-
regarding abortion, you just
of-
went there
of-
about that. How do you not know crime?
You were like,
No,
98% of the black people do, like, you just ran off a whole. Like,
We don't even know
You
if
didn't know what he
that's
said.
No, because the 13% of when I said the 13% of blacks is I was talking about 13% of blacks. When we start the 13% of blacks, I was talking about the crime element of homicides. Is what I talked about.
right, but you
But
brought
you
up the
talked
numbers.
about
She was saying in general, you bring up the numbers, but now you know.
Now you don't know any numbers for mass shooters.
But you
and
brought
white-
up
mass-
you talking about
I-
abortions, you was running numbers.
The mass shootings elements, I don't know the numbers.
Why?
You know what I'm saying?
Why?
I don't. I just,
Abortion
I
is talked about privately. How do you know that and not
I don't know all the numbers with abortion.
crime?
But we're 13% of the population of the United States of America.
13%.
And the only thing they talk about, the first thing they say, it go black, and they talk
So
about
I'm
what's
telling
going
you,
on, and
potentially-
we only 13%.
I'm telling you, potentially over 95% of the mass shooters are white men.
I give you
Why
that. You
is
said
that?
100.
Why?
I gave you that.
Because you just brought up those 2. I'm really still
Right.
saying 100. I'm still 99.
All right.
But I'm gonna give you 95. So with it being 95, why is that not on your totem pole to talk about? I don't understand that. Why the
The-
mental health for white men? Yeah,
Right, because I'm a black man. I'm worried about the mental health of black men. That's
What?
killing us. You just said 91% of black
But
on
you
black
do-
crime are killing
but
us.
mass
But her
shooters
point
are
is that
all-
your position perpetuates the conversation.
But I get what you said. But I get what you said. But that's the white man that got the mental health issues. We talk about the black
but
man.
they're
I need to
killing.
talk about
But
the
they're
black man that
killing.
got the mental
But
health
they're
issues.
killing all races.
Who killing all races?
The mass shooters.
I totally get that. Right? How many mass shooters we have in a day? Hold up. No, wait. Wait. This question.
I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot.
There's a lot, right?
Oh.
How many shooters that we have a day amongst us being black? Or how many white men are going out there?
No,
Let's do it like this. Let's do it like, how many white men are going out there shooting black guys?
What? They're a part.
How
of
many-
it.
We talking right
How
now.
many-
They're the mass.
How many white men on a daily basis is going out there shooting black men?
I mean, you want to put in the police shootings because that's
I mean, yeah, go ahead. How many so is there a police
It's a
shooting
lot,
of a
it's
white
a lot
man?
more than none.
shooting-
It's a lot less than a lot.
There we go.
So is that
That's it.
so with that being said, what I'm saying is that it's more of us, and I want to get the conversation of us killing us and us dealing with us. You know what I'm saying? I get it that you have white people doing we have those,
Okay.
but it's more of we only 13% of the population, and it's 91% of us killing this black on black crime.
I just
In
told
other
you,
race.
I
Exactly.
told you 91%, but I also
94.
told you
And we
83 to
13%.
85% of white men are killing white men. Why is that? That's not a big difference.
That is not different. I'm like I said, I'm only focused on black men.
Listen, that's just white on white crime.
But the 86% of that's happening, you got their percent. There are more of them than us. My biggest issue is that because we're a small group, a demographic in the United States, we're killing each other by each other. We're aborting each other. We're aborting. We're aborting.
Well, let's say
we're
gun violence.
abortion. Well, you bring abortion.
Oh, they're lynching us. They're lynching us.
We are endangered species.
Oh, you don't want to talk about that part?
We are.
They are lynching us. Yeah.
What they are? Well,
yes. Black men don't lynch themselves.
Yeah. They are lynching us.
I you know what I'm saying?
We can save this for next week because I want to tell y'all this, and I got another team coming.
Okay.
So right now it says this just dropped 36 minutes ago. It's a little bit over 36 minutes now.
Right.
But it says Milwaukee County Supervisor Priscilla Cox Jones under investigation into misconduct, falsifying campaign reports.
Yeah, I seen that.
What is that about?
I seen that.
I didn't read into it. But
They're coming for I believe because I this is just too much. Too many black politicians all of a sudden are under investigation. I believe it's a witch hunt.
Was she the one that was out in Brown Deer? There was one that had the same thing, similar that was like out in Brown Deer, and I think
because all of a sudden this is all
it just popped up. Yeah, that's
right,
what I was like. What?
saying, and then I don't know.
That's been in the cycle already. It just
That's been okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been around.
Okay.
And this
Well, I just was concerned because they said that
she
it
just
dropped in the
bought-
news before she even found out. It
Right,
said,
she
so.
bought. They said like she bought candy. What is that? Meals, travel.
Yeah, that's
Right.
I mean,
I just
because you could have bought that for an event.
I mean, that's like getting an award with a 24 karat gold base.
I hope
And
nothing
it's
come
not
out of it. I think that's just so minor. I just think that's just so minor. So
Yeah.
We created this plaque especially for you with this solid 24 karat gold base. No harm, no foul.
For sure. Talking about. So next week, y'all, Tuesday, bring your facts. We're gonna go into this violent crime situation here. We got
Violent
going on in
crime.
America. Violent
Man.
crime. I don't like to say the black on black and white on white stuff. Black on black. I'm gonna call it violent crime. Is what it is.
Yeah, me too. I like to say crime.
Yeah, I bet you do.
It's just crime.
Right. So we thank y'all for tuning in. Light skin Travis, dark skin Travis. Thank y'all, brothers. Hopefully I can come back in next week. We can pick this up. I do want to shout out Michelle Brown of WNOV was supposed to join us this evening. She got sick and called me before we went on. So hopefully she gets better and she can join us next week as well for this discussion. So we thank everybody. Y'all be blessed. Take care and be good. That's it.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.